So, as you guys have probably noticed, there's a new tech tree in WoW's Blitz. It was added to WoW's PC, I think, a couple months ago, but it just got added to WoW's Blitz as well, and it is the Pan-American slash South American tech tree. There is a lot of really good-looking ships, especially the Tier 10 San Martin really intrigues me because they have these really cool special combat instruction consumables, Observe Fire. It's like the special combat instructions for tier 11s in WoW's PC. It's like reduce main gun reload time and max dispersion by 30%, and increase main gun AP shell penetration power for 30% for 20 seconds. Can only be used after landing 50 hits with main guns. So it's like the special combat instructions. Now these ships don't get HE, but they have pretty good firing rate and, for the most part, at low tier especially, pretty high caliber guns. Vicente Guerrero has 152 millimeters guns, which is higher than a lot of other cruisers, I think. And they have a pretty long reload, but good traverse, and they deal a lot of damage. So that's the thing. I was actually playing this, and I was playing the tier 2 actually, and I got a Citadel on a South Carolina, USS South Carolina, with the main guns AP. That is really stupid that you're able to Citadel a South Carolina with 6-inch guns. So they have really good penetration power, which kind of makes up for them not getting HE. And at the higher tiers, unlike the American cruisers that they very closely resemble, they do get torpedoes. So that's good. So San Martin is honestly a lot like Minotaur, but with like a more practical consumable loadout, in my opinion. Okay, Kuma and Wakatake. They're not the tankiest ships in the game, as should be evidenced, but evidenced, is that a word? As should be evident, but since they're cruisers. But the low tiers especially are tanky enough that you can kind of just like sit broadside to a cruiser and farm them to death. Like he just shot me and he's already at half HP. And you can see the little meter right there with the how many more shell hits I need to get. Before I can pop my consumable. I'm almost there. If I just land one more salvo on this Kuma, that should be enough, and I can use the buff to take out the Isokazi. Yep. Then pop the consumable. Even with the consumable activated, it still has a 7-second reload, which is suboptimal, but okay, considering how much damage the guns do. Should probably, like, yeah, go around this island. Yeah, there's the Citadel. I think that's the only time I've actually Citadel the Tenryu with cruiser guns. Like, that might sound weird because it's not tanky at all, but that's genuinely the only time I've Citadel the Tenryu with cruiser guns. The AIs are, like, so bad that they're good. Because with the really weird and goofy, like, turn mechanics, maneuverability mechanics, and everything. This guy's name is M1 Abrams. That is a suboptimal. That is what we call a suboptimal situation. Yeah, of course, since it's a cruiser, you gotta be careful with torpedoes. My team's probably gonna win anyway, though. Is it just me, or is Clemson actually, like, kind of, like, stronger than Farragut? Or what's the tier 5? Is it tier 5 Nicholas or Farragut? I can't remember. Because I kind of feel like that, to be honest. With, like, the insane, like, amount of torpedoes. Like, you can just turn around and then you get 6 more torpedoes. How are you traversing your turrets that way, my guy? Alright, let's see if this Clemson can clutch up and win the game. I don't understand how, like, if you shoot a ship on, like, in one side, it'll damage a module that's on the other side of the ship. Like, I'll have a secondary damaged by, like, I'll have a secondary on my starboard damaged by someone who, like, a battleship that shot me from port, and I'm like, what? Like, how does that work? Oh, man. Well, we lost that battle, but it's low tier, whatever, it happens. Like, playing low tier is fun, but if you play too low tier, like, I feel like there's tiers where you have, like, the optimal amount of fun. I would say the tiers that are the most fun to play are tier 5, tier 1, tier 7, and tier 10. Because tier 9, you're just fighting way too many tier 10 ships and they all outclass you. Tier 8 is just kind of mid in general. Like, I feel like a lot of tier 8 ships just really aren't really up to par with a lot of their other tech tree, which is made evident by, like, ships like Harlem and the Dutch tech tree, and Cleveland and the American tech tree. Like, Cleveland is an amazing ship, don't get me wrong, but, like, I honestly kind of feel like Brooklyn is a better ship, to be honest. Cleveland and Brooklyn are probably my 2 least favorite ships in the game, not because they're bad, but just because they're so annoying to fight. Which they shouldn't be, since they're outclassed by a lot of other nation ships. That's why I'm currently grinding the Dutch ships. But, like, Harlem, I thought it was going to be kind of a roadblock. I've actually been having a lot of fun in it, but at the same time, Harlem, like, it's a good ship, but you really have to know how to play it. Like, imagine something that's the size of a Petropavlovsk, but has the same guns as an Indianapolis, and has the armor of a Minotaur. At least that's what it feels like you're playing. Okay, there's our special consumable. I have like 4 cruisers just swarming me. You can't pen me. You can't pen me. Like, they physically cannot pen me with their HE. Another citadel on the St. Louis. I almost have my other consumable unlocked. Pop that. And I might just be able to kill the rest of these guys. Doubtful, though. Third citadel. There's another ship destroyed, but this 10 reduced fire is gonna get me for sure. Yeah, he got me. 30k damage in a 4v1 though. Like, I was literally like fighting a 4v1, and I got 2 kills, 3 citadels, and 30k damage. And I managed to pop my consumable twice. At low tier, the low tier consumable, you only need 30 main battery hits to be able to use it, but the high tier one you need 50, which is understandable because the high tier one gives you a bigger buff. The low tier one just gives you a 20% buff on everything, but the high tier one gives you a 30% buff. Another example, like, of AIs just being so bad that they're good. Man. Alright, another low tier game. That was 2 defeats, but you could see, like, how much damage those guns do. And I'm really excited to see how the rest of the tech tree plays. Which, I'm gonna be grinding the rest of the tech tree after I finish the Dutch cruisers. Got that. Which, speaking of that, I'm actually really close to unlocking the tier 9 Dutch cruiser, and I'll definitely make a video on that afterwards. So, like, what the thing is, I'm still using Eendracht as a commander training ship, because I don't want to have to retrain my best Dutch commander every time I swap ships. So I'm just going to be going up with this commander while training this commander up with Eendracht. And then once I reach high tier, I'll just sell Eendracht and switch the commander over to Godin Liu and have some fun at high tier. So, yeah, that's the Vicente Guerrero. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I probably am not, though. This tech tree definitely has a lot to offer, and I highly recommend grinding it if you're looking for, like, a good starter tech tree. Especially if light cruisers are really geared towards your playstyle. Because these are, like, some really good light cruisers. Like, they don't have that many guns, but the guns that they do have reload really quickly. They get a gun buff consumable, and they get really good AP damage and penetration. Bye guys, I'll see you later. Make sure to check these things out.